So, I just wanted to make another quick video and also understand that this thing is something that they've been doing for a while. But also, the reason why I'm making this video is, as always, I know my time is limited, but I just realized that there's things that they kind of force you to get stressed out about that make no sense. But I want to explain. In the last video, I made these comments, right, when I'm saying that they were trying to make me experience this false memory about these poor kids in Syria that were dying, right? It was so sad to see that. Early on when Syria war was very popular, they showed a lot of news about it and they showed a lot of like horrible things that were happening to those kids, to those babies. So sad. Beautiful little kids is suffering over there and dying. And so I make the videos. I'm like in the video. I specifically said the memory is being manipulated now with getting these nasty stimulations. And and I said something in regard of, mind you, when I speak at that point, I'm just like gone into his zone of speaking. But I just realized maybe a little bit of it was manipulated into saying a certain way, but it still doesn't make sense. Even how you want to manipulate is just kind of idiotic. So I got to be careful and speak quite calmly so I can just be able to express what I say and say it properly. I said something of like, this Syria war did not get to me because these kids were being killed and dying, something of that, something this like that. I said. And so they then immediately like, oh, so you're saying that if these kids weren't dying, weren't suffering, you would experience the things that we make you experience today, right? When they're basically so basically if you're saying that then if they weren't dying and if they weren't suffering, then you'll be experiencing these disturbing stimulations. But because they're dying and because because they're suffering or they were suffering or they were dying, you didn't feel that. So basically, if they weren't, so this is the kind of logic, right? And it's disgusting. And the then also makes no sense for them to be to be able to bring that up. So if you say that I'm saying that that is the reason why I didn't get anything, I didn't get any of the stimulation. I gotta be careful what I'm saying because they're gonna make it sound differently. If you're saying that I didn't get the nastiness that I'm experiencing today, the disturbingness that I'm experiencing today, so why are you trying to manipulate? And I didn't get that because the kids that were dying and suffering. Why are you trying to manipulate that memory? Right? Obviously, at the end of the day, they're just trying to mess with how I was saying and things and how manipulating me. The reality is this: I I wasn't getting any none of the stuff. It's so sad, and it's so sad that they were trying to use those moments where it's a sad moments in life when you see these people dying and suffering and try to create these false stimulations. It's disgusting, but they're gonna try to find ways to implant pedophilia things into anything where there's children. Right, and this is where they're trying to manipulate. Now, my word is the way I was saying it. They're trying to trick me into sounding some other ways because what's happening today every once in a while they they don't stimulate me every once in a while. Sometimes things are just too funny, like in the fact of this moment that being too funny, it surpasses the disturbingness they do to me. So it's every once in a while, so they were trying to do something of that nature. It's stupidity, but what I was trying to say is trying to manipulate these moments where you're seeing kids dying and suffering and try to manipulate the memory of that it's not going. I mean, I'm never going to subscribe to it, even though now I'm going to experience it the way they want me to experience it. There's nothing I can do, but basically trying to say that they're going to find ways to implant a kind of pedophilia moments and stimulations into my memories and be like, oh, we match this, see, we see a pattern. They create things, but that's what they do. And so I just wanted to get back to how they manipulate things. But with that being said, it was nonsensical. It sounds disgusting. These people just now gonna force me to experience things in disturbing ways. And what they've been doing is going to my memories, implant these stimulations, and make me believe that this is how I experience things. When in reality, this is what they make me experience my memories now within disturbingness. And they're gonna continue to do this. Today was Syria. Yesterday was something else. Tomorrow it's gonna be ongoing, right? They're gonna slowly just erase my memories and do other things. And I've talked about this other little girl that was dancing with you, and now when I experienced it, I was getting the simulations and disgustingness that they make me experience now, and they're like, it was you when you were a child. It's disgusting, right? So this is the things they're gonna do. But the reason why I'm making this video is this: I just want to, for once, not speak too much. I want to give a why I'm so validated. I'm by myself. I have to deal with this disturbingness all the time. Why am I finding strength? How can I? And to my target individual, this is why. I'm going to give you a snippet of some of the testimonies I've heard. Those testimonies were all the way back to 2007. A lot of it is similar, but you can only imagine the level of sophistication because a lot of things changed in regard of technology. When you look at 2007 and now, remember 2007, not all of us had cell phones. Now everybody has them. You gotta understand. So can you imagine now how sophisticated this technology has become? But listen to the testimonies from some of the TIs. Okay, I'm gonna press play and listen to some of the testimony and why I'm finding strength in the things I'm going through. Even though they mess with me, even the way I try to say things are being messed with to try to create different things. This is why I'm so strong, even if I'm just dealing with nonsensicalness and nonstop manipulation and messing with me. And by the way, they keep telling me I'm going to be a rag doll, I'm going to be tortured. And I'm like, listen, I'd rather die in that fashion than having to do what they do. And listen what kind of things they're part of. So I'm going to give you maybe a 5 minute snippet and listen.
Being conducted by the United States government through related agencies. I fear the security agencies, in particular, are deeply involved in crimes against the American civilian population. I know this because I am a victim of repeated rape, beatings, torture, experimentation by injection, attack by military experimental weapons, and a myriad of other abuses. I am an American citizen with no criminal history. After being rendered unconscious by my attacker, I woke suddenly, opening my eyes to witness my neighbor Timothy O'Brien using the directed electromagnetic neurological weapon from my window outside my home against me. At that time I had no understanding of what the box was that he had pressed against my window with red laser beams emanating from it. It was only later, after much research, I found he was directing a wall weapon at me, and that this directed electromagnetic neurological weapon could do great harm to me and even kill. Also, I later found this activity was a war crime and already 3 states, ME, MA, MI, had severe felony punishments for any criminal using these weapons on American civilians, which included heavy fines and many years of imprisonment. I am one of the few lucky ones who actually saw my tormentor, who is responsible for the multiple rapes and horrendous bruises and injuries across my body, which I have endured over the last 15 months. Those bruises and injuries, captured in photographs taken by friends, and a chief deputy sheriff, are currently in the hands of a judge, an attorney and a chief deputy sheriff. As well as the psychotronic weapons, both long and short range he uses on me. He is now using the military blunt impact weapon on me while I work in my gardens and care for my animals. I consider Mr. O'Brien to be a war criminal, and his criminal use of these weapons on me are causing the following effects. L. Severe tinnitus. 2. Severe visual disturbances, periods of blindness, hoarseness of voice and esophageal discomfort. 3. Radiation poisoning. My home is being bombarded with radiation. 4. Moderate to severe pain to nerves of my body. 5. Reading my thoughts remotely, finding hidden research papers, cameras, film and other things I hide, as theft and vandalism of my property, he continues, as usual over the last 10 years. 6. Remote manipulation of my body parts from space causing pain and discomfort. 7. Constant harassment from goonstalkers. He has hired to follow me. I am followed and harassed by as many as 30 or more at a time. 8. Control of my sleep patterns, waking me from deep sleep with severe muscle cramps when I am out of town. 9. Complex control of my brain, short-term memory gone, severe confusion. All returns to normal if I can avoid being rendered unconscious by O'Brien's weapon for a day or two, which means no sleep for days at a time. 10. Huge, severe bruises on my arms, legs and over my back. 11. Muscles and tissue which feel torn and are terribly sore after the beatings I sustained while unconscious. Massive ignorance by those not being attacked and massive secrecy by criminals perpetrating this activity against targeted individuals, Ts, is astronomical. Victims or targeted individuals are being subjected to uncontrolled and unacknowledged torture, mental and physical destruction by these criminals who carry out once illegal programs, for example, MKUltra. These programs, once banned by the United States government by law, have now been overturned by the Bush administration, loosing savage criminal elements to prey upon innocent American civilians. Until recently, this violation against the Constitution has remained completely unreported and undiscussed publicly. Now truth is leaking out from both corporate and alternative press as to these activities by the Bush administration, which are considered treasonous and should be handled as such. Your attention is urgently needed to assist halting these atrocities, protect the hundreds of thousands of victim TIs, and bring these extremist criminals to justice who were once elected to protect our Constitution and Bill of Rights. Since my life has been threatened, first verbally by my tormentor, then by his own actions, which I have both witnessed and endured, and knowing other targeted individuals like me whose lives are endangered, I would consider my plea an extreme emergency. I demand an international investigation into these crimes and huge violations of human rights. Please help us. K. Barnes. A complete case history and affidavit are available on request. 6. Name, Kathleen Susan Francis. Citizenship, USA. Year torture or abuse began, 2002. Email, spire@yahoo.com. To whom it may concern. I support the worldwide campaign against torture and abuse using directed energy and neurological weapons. I have been a target of some type of long-distance sensing device that is an invasive and cruel energy apparatus, direct or otherwise, since at least 2002. It is very real and not caused by an organic malfunction of my brain. I have lived with my mind and body since birth and know the difference between my dreams, my ideas, and my thoughts. This has been unbelievable, but unfortunately for me and others very real.
So
I'm insulted and dismayed that the United States government has permitted such barbaric tools to be used against peace-loving and caring individuals.
so you heard the last part, right? I think Kathleen, forgot her last name. She mentioned that she knows that she hasn't been the same. She knows the difference between her. She's been herself for most of her life, for all of her life. So she knows her thoughts, her dreams, her inspirations, and she knows she's not experiencing herself. Something is happening to her brain, her thoughts, her dreams, that she's experiencing things that is not naturally happening. Just like I was saying, like this is a testimony in 2007. You understand? Like, is this goes on about 100 of those testimonies. That old. I mean, there's some so specific. It's just ridiculous. The all disturbing. All kind of things. It is nothing I've experienced that's unique to me. Memories being manipulated. This, that. Program of perversions. There's that. All of that, this is all there. You understand that there's nothing I can. Everything that I'm experiencing has been done to others. You hear that those were two women. One woman saying she's repeatedly raped, like this is the rape part is just nothing new. They keep doing like they keep. This is a tactic they've been using for years with this technology. You keep hearing this remote ways of torturing and sexually torturing people. There's other testimonies I should have maybe I'll play next time where it's a family of five. The whole family is getting the torture. Blindness, which I've experienced some of the things they do. They do these things where they can create some kind of flashes in your eyes. This person and her and the kids experience the same thing. It's 2007. You understand? Like it's too much. Like they forget about patterns they've created and put together as you when you like listen. They're saying the same thing I'm saying. They're saying this. I don't know these people. Why are they saying that? They're TI, target individual. They're expressing this. The mother, the father, the kids. This woman is like, it's just how much? Everybody, like, it's just too obvious. This is when you see, like, okay, the difference between how you actually analyze situations versus what the things they try to create. And it's obvious they're manipulating me. You heard my earlier ways they were trying to play things in my brain and come up with this nonsensicalness. This woman says herself, I did not. I have no idea this person who she is. I know she talks about her testimony of what's happening to her. She said, and this is in 2007, so you can understand at this point that how sophisticated things are. Obviously, I have things that are even more like not too long, like just like 2018 testimonies, like early. But I'm saying if this woman randomly says that and others have said that. You hear petitions and things like that. Mind controlling my mind to think this way. This I can bring like back to back to back to back. People saying the same things. I have no idea. These people, mothers, father, saying that my ways of thinking has changed. They override my consciousness with this. They do this. Something about brain being manipulated non-stop. And you want me to somehow accept this? Oh, this is me when I was a child. No, this is even the manipulation of memories. Somebody says that literally say I can they can implant information into your mind and then bring it up like as if it's your memory and present it as if it's your memory. Basically feel like this is your memory. This is why this is old. This is 2007 stuff. 2007. You tell me today if they were able to play memories this way in 2007 now it's beyond everything I experienced. You know what they try to the way they try to counter me? Oh, but okay, what you did is when you were a kid, right? Okay, it's old, so it's like just like them, like their testimony is so long ago. How can you compare it to things in 2000s? Because are you serious? This is the people. That's the rationale I'm having in my brain. My point is, this been ongoing for years. It's been done for years, and now it's only getting worse in the sense that the technology is even better to do even more stuff. As technology improves, that means they can do so much more. If they were able to do this in 2007, what do you think they can do today? If technology is that much better in comparison to 2007, can you imagine how much more advanced this thing is? They have hundreds of testimonies all around the world in 2007. So you tell me now this, and I can still, it's more sophisticated. They can do more precise things to your brain. I'm just showing that, and this is you hear this the women United States. Oh, you think I can get testimonies in 2020 of women? Of course I can. These people, what they do is not new. You will not find things. Everything has been done. And the reason why I call this is research and development is because they're doing things to even more precise ways. Technology is even is even much more. It's like you can only imagine that the technology. That's why they do this. Is to make this thing better and better and better and better and better to the point where like, just this, this level. So to all my target individuals, you see, I'm not experiencing this alone. You're not experiencing this thing alone, and there's been so many before you, and there'll be many after you. But know you, know yourself. You've been you long enough to know who you are. If in 2007 they can do this thing to this woman, 2023, what you expect? How do you think your brain? How can they override your brain? So just remember, they are going to do everything possible to make you accept this nonsensicalness. It's going to be so close to being on the spectrum. There's one person, and I'm going to watch my language. I don't want to insult anybody, but this person, I think, because these testimonies are all over the world. It's global. You know, this technology, this network is global. This person is like, they almost make me be mentally retarded. Mental retardations is one of the symptoms because you start thinking in this most irrational nonsensicalness that almost compared to retardation. These people are, and they want you to subscribe to this thing because you truly are no longer thinking clearly in the sense of what is this even logical in my brain now. Stay strong, but know that you're not alone and understand that your testimony is also needed. We got to continue to speak what's going on because who knows 10 years from now when this thing continues, they'll be like, listen, I'm experiencing this. 10 years ago this was happening, 12 years ago, 20. This is why I make my videos. This is why I'm making testimonies, because I know this is something that somebody can find strength on. If I can say this now, and I'm telling you, there's some of the testimonies is scary. This the perverted things they do. 2007. So now you can only imagine. So to all my target individuals, stay strong and know that uh, justice will be done, but you got to be strong and do your part. Thank you.